CJ.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories. I mean, this Neckbeard story was basically cross-posted everywhere, including r/MoonhorseStories, my personal subreddit, so I'm thinking that this user really wants to get read, and the story's pretty beefy. I find it halfway believable, largely due to it happening in the South, which is kind of sad to say, but I do know that some stuff goes on down there, and maybe it should be brought to light. Maybe we should talk about it a little bit. There is quite a bit of gatekeeping, quite a bit of misogyny, so there are your trigger warnings, but we'll also get some warnings and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will jump right into this Neckbeard cringe. Sir Talks a Lot, number 1, the fanfic fool of folly, or misogynistic mayhem. I like those alternate titles. Lets you know what you're in for. Hey y'all, this is my first post on Reddit. I've been watching and listening to Tim Tam Tom, Moonhorse, and many others on YouTube, which made me think about all the neckbeards that I had to deal with over the years. This story is about a neckbeard and 2 female coworkers that I still work with currently. Hopefully none of them use Reddit, and I'm also basically just venting because my job can be very stressful, especially due to COVID. Well, we do love our essential workers, but not so much the ones that pat themselves on the back all the time. You know, got all these nurses and doctors making TikToks and shit while people are dying on ventilators. Ugh, that gets me a little bit triggered, so as long as you ain't one of them, we good. Backstory, I work for a store that takes donated goods and resells them for cheaper prices. I'll be real with y'all, we're pretty much just glorified movers and yard salesmen when you really think about it. At this point in time, I've been working there for about 3 years. I've seen my fair share of weird and stupid shit, but in this case, we're talking about someone, a coworker, that is just annoying as fuck, and I still have to put up with him to this very day. FML. What's up with this? Goodwill? Is that what this is? Goodwill is an essential service? Man, I don't know. See, this is why the virus has gone on for so long, man. Could have just shut it all down for 2 weeks. Shit would have wrapped itself up, but no. We gotta keep it all going. What about the economy? What about my stonks? God, I'm getting off on some tangents. Whew. Names and places have been changed for obvious reasons. Duh. And we got our cast. CJ, 23 at the time, just an average nerdy, mildly autistic, 5'9", heavy-set brother from Bama, and head donation attendant, just working to stay in class and keep my rent paid, while also writing and drawing a few stories on the side. I hope someday that they'll become an animated series or a live-action show on Netflix. I'm not really big on confrontation unless provoked enough, and I do not do well in large crowds. I can be a bit of a smartass when people annoy me enough, and I could probably give Eric Foreman a run for his money. I'm a hard worker, and I take pride in what I do, because I grew up in a, boy, if I'm cutting grass, then you're cutting grass, now get out here kind of household. What irks me is having to work alongside lazy people that don't pull their weight, or in this case, I would say, specifically, one lazy fuck. I wonder what CJ stands for. I bet it stands for Candlejack. No, but that's crazy. Candlejack is just an urban I escaped. Okay, we're not going to say that again. We're just going to say CJ from now on. That's an old meme, man. S. Sahara, one of my beautiful coworkers, the object of the beard's affection and also my crush. She was a beautiful tomboy and the head cashier at our store. She's usually nice to everyone, unless you piss her off. She's the type that's not afraid to just be who she is, and she won't apologize for it either. She was into 90s cartoons, video games, and anime, casual anime watcher. She was mixed, black and white, and was very blessed in the body department, thick. And because of her skin tone and the shape of her eyes, she'd sometimes get mistaken for Asian, Hawaiian, or Brazilian. Or people would just walk up to her and straight up ask her, "What are you?" That's gotta be so enraging. Not to mention, she got asked out like every other day and got a lot of unwanted attention from guys that would come into the store. ST, our neckbeard, was also included in this long line of thirsty guys. It happened so often that some of the other coworkers call her "Hello, Nurse." We're big on 90s cartoons in this thing, man. First it's Freakazoid, now it's Animaniacs. I love it. It was a dumb joke that we made, basically because the Animaniacs was one of her favorite shows. Impeccable taste. She may not have said it, but I could tell it bothered her a little. She usually turns them all down because at the time she just got out of a very toxic relationship and was still trying to shake things off. Mary, another coworker of mine and one of my favorite people to work with. She was a 26-year-old Korean girl, our head floor attendant, and the savage of our store. She's been here longer than Sahara, Beard, and I because she started the job when she was 18. She's an excellent cook and pretty much queen of the potlucks. She's very sweet and looks out for people. She speaks her mind and isn't afraid to call people out on their bullshit, especially when she's pissed. She's sometimes called bitchy or stuck up by the Beard and a couple of other coworkers who she's turned down, and she's fully aware that they call her that behind her back. She usually just puts them in her place with her savagery and wit. She's just real with people and won't tell them what they want to hear, but she'll tell them what they need to hear, which is why I have mad respect for her. She seems cool enough. Personally, I don't know why they call her that. She's nice to me. That, and probably because I don't really do anything to piss her off. Outspoken women are always called like bitchy or bossy or whatever. It's just kind of one of those things that we as a society need to get over. ST is our Beard. Sir talks a lot. And last but not least, we have the bane of my existence, Sir Talks a Lot. He was a 25-year-old typical conservative, overweight, nice guy, with long, nasty, greasy hair, pale skin, a pubic hair-like beard on his neck, the infamous hat, fedora. He was obsessed with anime and WoW, World of Warcraft, and he smelled like a combination of chitlins, nut, and the outdoors. Better yet, just picture Larry the Cable Guy and the comic book guy from The Simpsons crossed with a bloated white whale wearing a fedora. He's everything that you don't want in a coworker. Chitlins smell like straight shit. Nut, I'm assuming you mean jism. And then I don't really get the outdoors part. Does he go outdoors? Is he an outdoor beard? Maybe he just smells moldy and musty. Or maybe ass and cum smells like the outdoors. I'm not 100% sure. The science is still out on that. 1. He is lazy as hell. He literally does the bare minimum so the boss won't bitch at him. 2. Constantly complains about the job even though it's really simple as fuck. We literally just sort items by what they are and what they're made of. Metal, wood, recyclable plastic, etc. 3. He would tell bold-faced lies and stories about his sex lives and conquests that I'm sure would be in the r/thathappened subreddit. For example, I lost my V-card in a threesome with Asian twins when I was 16. Cool story, bro. How much did you pay? 4. He never shows up on time and calls out for completely bullshit reasons, despite literally just living up the road from the store. It is ridiculous. 5. He's racist, as in he uses backhanded phrases or speaks in codes because he doesn't have the balls to actually call someone a racial slur, at least not to their face, especially when a Hispanic or Middle Eastern family comes into the store and speaks their native language. He'd say, "If they come to our country, they should at least learn fucking English or go back to where they came from. Damn freeloading foreigners." That's the South encapsulated, isn't it? Truth is, America has no national language, okay? And if they're just talking amongst themselves, they should be able to use whatever language they're most comfortable with, right? If they're trying to talk to me in Farsi or something like that, I'll be like, bro. I don't know Farsi. Can we talk in English? And I think that outlook is like extra disrespectful, especially having come to the Philippines where like most people speak English pretty well, you know? They do have Tagalog as a national language, but basically everybody here speaks at least a little bit of English. So I would feel so bad if somebody told me, learn Tagalog or go back to your country, freeloading foreigner. I'd be like, dude, what a horrible thing to say. No matter what context it's said in. That is just so not cool. But I'm sure most people know that already. Not Sir talks a lot, though. 6. He makes unwanted physical contact with women at the store. Customers? Jesus. Usually using the typical creep excuses when he gets caught or called out for it. Sorry, my hand slipped. Or, I lost my balance. Staring at Mary, Sahara, and all the other female coworkers until one of them says, "The hell are you looking at, perv?" Or, "Take a picture, it'll last longer, jackass." Seriously, it's called self-control, dude. Trying to talk to a neckbeard about self-control, man, it's like trying to teach a dog calculus. You ain't gonna make him understand. 7. He's extremely sexist. With such a backwards view on women, you would think that someone plucked him out of the 50s or 60s and just stuck him in the modern era. He's basically like if girls can't do this or that was a person. Little advice, dude. Gatekeeping is not attractive, nor will it get you a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife that's trad, but she keeps on getting scooped up by Chad. Ah, that rhymes. 8. He jumps into people's conversations and just talks over people to the point where you can't even get a word in edgewise, no matter where or who he is with. He mostly did this to girls, I guess either to feel like he was superior or because he was just trying so desperately to be the smartest person in the room, even though he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And worst of all, number 9. He would not shut up, constantly talking about absolute bullshit that no one cares about. Talk, 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 yuck, yuck, yuck. This guy needs a nice, tall, frosty glass of shut the fuck up. Sure, I know what you're probably thinking. Dude, just ignore him. That's easier said than done. He makes such stupid, creepy, and mostly offensive comments. They're just so out there that you can't help but try and correct him. How stupid, you may ask? I'm talking like flat earther logic meets the guys from Jackass Stupid. Flat earther logic. That tickles me. This little encounter happened while during our lunch break. I set my break alarm, and I started chilling and doing what I usually do during my lunch, writing some scenes for my main story, while enjoying some venison jerky and some sweet tea, when Mary, Sahara, and Sir Talks-A-Lot came in and sat down to eat as well. Mary and Sahara decided to sit at the table I was sitting at, while Sir Talks-A-Lot sat right at the table behind us, probably to stare at Mary and Sahara, or just to be generally nosy is my guess. Mary said, "Hey, OP, what are you writing?" Sahara, "Yeah, we always see you writing in those notebooks when we go to lunch." OP, blushing a little and getting tongue-tied because my crush just talked to me. "Oh, just some stories that I want to turn into a film or a TV series." Sahara, "Whoa, what's it about? Can I read one of them?" Mary, "Same here. I'm curious to see what you got. You don't mind a little criticism, do you, CJ?" OP, Sure. I could use a little feedback. It'll help me to get better and improve my writing style." I was cool with it, but deep down, I was really nervous as fuck. This was the first time that I allowed anybody to read my work. My crush was reading my work, and another girl who's pretty much a female Simon Cowell, and one of the realest people that I've ever met, is preparing to judge it. Absolutely terrible. I handed them one of my notebooks, and after they read a couple of chapters, they both spoke up. Mary, "It's a pretty solid read. I love the main character, but you should give him a little more depth. Also, I get a sense for what kind of universe you're setting up. It's a little out there, but I say stick with it. You were definitely inspired by multiple sources of mainstream series, but at the same time, you do have some originality in here. Sahara. Same here. I really like your Savannah character. She's a total badass. Seems to be a very good contrast to your main character. Sahara, Savannah. I'm seeing that. Little did she know that I based the main character off of her. I could tell. That, and I love strong female characters like Ezra Scarlet, Mikasa, etc. The more badass they are, the better. I've never been much of a fan of the damsel in distress thing. It's really overdone, and it's why I'm not a fan of stuff like Mario. However, I do love the Mario Kart series. Come on, OP, you don't play Mario for the story. You play it to have some nice, bouncy, platforming fun. OP, thanks, that's exactly what I was looking for. While Mary, Sahara, and I were talking, Sir Talks-A-Lot walks over and snatches my notebook to read it. OP, hey, what are you doing? That's mine, dude. Sahara, yeah, CJ didn't give you permission to read that, dude. Sir Talks-A-Lot,
you females seem way too interested in what he's been writing. It can't be that good.
Mary, dude, no one asked you to be over here. Rude much? Sir Talks-A-Lot ignores Mary and reads it. Sir Talks-A-Lot,
it's shit, dude. There aren't any orcs or blood elves.
You should just make World of Warcraft the book. He went on and on and on and on and on about creatures, and I don't feel like typing all that.
It's not even relatable. Your main character shouldn't be black. People won't relate to that.
Oh, the color of a character doesn't matter, dude. As long as the character's well written, you can identify with basically any race or gender. OP, raising my voice and stumbling with my words a little. What the hell? I didn't ask for you to read my stuff. You're not my target audience, nor are you a professional publisher or anything. It's my story and I'll do whatever I damn well please with it. Mary, what exactly do you mean,
not relatable because the main character's black?
I'm Korean and I can relate to it. I think you're just being ignorant. And you're too simple-minded to understand it, dude. It's not cool or attractive to shit on people's work and dreams. Sir Talks-A-Lot looks Mary dead in the eye in shock because
a woman dared to speak to him so sternly.
He cleared his throat, and in the sad attempt to try and defend his claims, came up with a lot of dumb explanations that literally have nothing to do with my series. Like pandering to black people, people of color, and democratic agendas. And a bunch of other shit that I don't care for. Yada, yada, yada. Just STFU already, dude. Sahara, how the fuck is it pandering to people of color and democratic agendas? Democratic agenda just kills me. Boy got no idea what he's talking about. OP, dude, it's a story about a 14-year-old boy and his parents discovering a hidden heritage that was hidden from them by their parents. They're sages, beings that can use elemental abilities and nature in battle while learning about different cultures. It's like an action comedy, fantasy-based series with like a touch of realism and raunchiness. Dude, why the fuck are you reaching for something that ain't there? Sir Talks-A-Lot.
Of course you wouldn't get it. What's really not attractive is how you wrote your female characters. They don't cook or clean or act how a proper woman should. Women don't belong in fights and battlefields. Just leave the fighting to the men like it's supposed to be.
I like how he thinks the character is automatically supposed to be attractive. I think you're looking for more of like a fan service type of thing, which this ain't, apparently. There was an awkward silence at the table after we heard him say this shit, as I gave him the blankest stare and said, OP, really, dude? Not really what I said, but you know what I mean. You can't be this dumb. Whatever, if it's such an issue, just write your own damn story, you asshole. Sahara, dude, what the fuck? We aren't in the 50s. It's not relatable to someone like you. That, and you only read a little bit of it. How can you say that something's shit when you haven't read enough of it? I think it has potential. It was at this moment that my heart skipped a beat hearing her say that. I snatched my notebook back real quick out of his fat, grubby hands and stared him down. Sir Talks a Lot.
I don't know why you're so upset. I'm just saying, if you change your story up, you'll get more attention.
OP, yeah. Again, no one asked you. My story, my universe, my rules. Deal with it. Sir Talks a Lot.
All you gotta do is add
a crap load of creatures that I've never heard of, nor do I care about.
And make all the women at least act like real women.
I don't think he's ever met a real woman, dude. After hearing him say that, I'm just thinking, is this motherfucker serious? OP, if you feel that way, then write your own damn stories, you jackass. I was pissed and annoyed, and this guy was really making my blood boil. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, this fool pulls out a chair and sits next to Sahara, like he didn't just say all that wild shit. Sahara, dude, what the fuck are you doing? She smelled his BO, and the face that she was making was obvious, and yet he didn't catch on. Oblivious beards are best beards. Sir Talks a Lot.
Just sitting next to you, milady.
Tips his hat to her like an idiot. And he said milady. Dude, come on. Mary's just sitting there, fuming a little from this asshole's words, trying to calm herself down, while also trying not to breathe in this walking cow pie's paint peeling stench. Mary, you need to give us like 10 feet, dude. You smell like a hog's ass. You're over here shitting on other people's work like you're so much better than everyone else. You are so damn conceited. I could tell Mary was trying her best not to lose her temper and just roast this dude to a crisp. The whole time I was sitting there with my fingers crossed thinking, please, please roast his ass so he will go the fuck away. Our noses cannot take any more abuse. Sahara, waving her hand in front of her nose and face. You act like you can do better and... Oh, God, seriously, dude, just go sit at the other table. After he heard that, he got a weird smug smirk on his face and pretty much ignored everything that was said about his body odor. Sir Talks a Lot.
Of course I can. I can write circles around him and his garbage characters. Want to see my stories, milady? Maybe later we could.
Sahara. I don't want to see your... But before Sahara could even say no, Sir Talks a Lot gets up from the chair, giving our noses at least a short break from his stench, and he gets his dirty, mystery stain-covered Sting backpack and pulls out a crusty, yellow journal. Sting backpack? Like the wrestler? I got a lot of questions, man. Sir Talks a Lot.
Here you go, Sahara. This is what true art is.
He says this while trying to make an intimidating glare at me, and it was not very effective. I really wanted to straight up punch him, but I was at my job. If I wasn't at my job, I would have just done it without a second thought. You'd think things couldn't get any worse? Like he's just gonna show Sahara a few stories, right? What could possibly go wrong? Famous last words. A lot could go wrong, but what happened next, I really was not ready for. Kevin Hart meme. He wasn't ready.
No, she wasn't ready.
This dude did the worst thing that you could possibly do while beautiful girls are around. He committed social suicide by adding to his already immense creep factor. This fool handed Sahara his sexually charged fanfics of his sick, twisted desires. God. Some involving very obvious signs of who it was about, with literally no subtlety in the name changes. Fanfics of who, you might ask? Well, it involved both Mary and Sahara doing very sick and vulgar acts to him and to each other. The look on Sahara's face was just pure disgust and embarrassment. Good cringe. I skimmed it and it was just straight up nasty. I truly felt like I was going to lose my lunch. Sir Talks-A-Lot was just sitting there, stench and all, with a big shit-eating grin. As if he did not do what he just did. Mary reads it as well, and she is pissed. Mary, Sir Talks-A-Lot, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is disgusting. OP, you write stuff like that and you call my work shit? Sir Talks-A-Lot.
What? It's what females should be doing. Cooking, cleaning, and giving pleasure to their man. Like God said they should.
God. Now we're dragging God into this. God's up there like, no. I don't want no part of this. Yep, he actually said all this bullshit without like an ounce of shame or any sign of sarcasm. Nor did he say it like he was joking either. Sahara, I may not be religious, but I'm pretty sure God never said any bullshit like that. Get the fuck away from me, dude. You are sick. She threw the notebook at him full force, and it knocked his crusty hat right off his head. Sir Talks-A-Lot.
I still don't see why you're mad. It's just my vision.
While trying to pick his hat up off the floor.
You females just can't handle the truth about your roles in society. The natural order of how the world should be.
Mary, I don't know where you come from, but women aren't objects. You sick fuck. Sir Talks-A-Lot.
You females, your opinions don't even count.
God.
I don't have to take this bullshit from any of you. Don't blame me because y'all don't know your place in society.
Yada, yada, yada. He just kept talking. As he kept talking, my alarm for the break time went off. I put up my notebooks in my locker, put on my gloves, back brace, and vest, and headed back into work. So did Mary and Sahara. He literally kept talking as we walked out of the break room. Mary and Sahara went to the manager's office after their shift was over to inform the boss about what was written about them, his sexist rhetoric, and his body odor problems. You're probably wondering what became of that? Nothing. Nothing was done except a stern talking to, because our manager at the time was fucking spineless. As in, he would let a customer get in his or her way no matter how wrong they were. Basically, he gave M and S the boys will be boys bullshit instead of taking it to HR. As for Sir Talks-A-Lot, I was not kidding about the whole social suicide thing. Word about his sick book of desires spread like wildfire at our store. Like, no joke, the people with the day off or on vacation already knew about it. Everyone, well, at least most of the female coworkers, avoided him like a sack full of rattlesnakes for like the next 3 months. A sack full of rattlesnakes. That's southern as hell, dude. They ran away from him faster than a barefooted jackrabbit on a flat top griddle. No shade, I'm just having fun with it. I hope I'm not offending anybody with that. In reciprocation, he avoided all of us like the plague and really didn't speak to us much for a while. He pretty much kept talking everyone else's heads off and
Tried to play the victim.
But no one was buying any of the bullshit that he was selling. And yet, this is but one of many of his beardy shenanigans. I have other stories about him and other neckbeards from my past. If anyone wants me to post them, just ask. Thanks for reading. I'd like to say it's fake. I'd like to say it's blown out of proportion, but I just can't. Because I've legitimately known people like this. And they're not all confined to the South either. There's a dude that lives right down the street. You know, he's like, we should be friends because we're both white. I'm like, that's weird, but okay. We hung out one time. And that was all it took for me to realize that he was a misogynistic, like, hateful piece of trash. And I ghosted him after that. 100%. Just like, nope. I mean, he did come from Tennessee, but... There's people out there, you know, in California. Same shit. Different day. Different state. I would definitely like to hear more about him or any of the other neckbeard experiences that you've had. Because it's wild, but yeah, it's within the realm of possibility, you know. As unfortunate as that thought might be. Unfortunately, I have to accept it because, yeah, there are people out there exactly like this. Just a massive specimen of a neckbeard. Not just because of his political views where he wants to play the victim. He's like, oh no, poor white me. It's like, bro, what the hell?
The Democratic agenda's out to get me.
You stupid. That's all I'm saying. I mean, while I find his political views repugnant, like, that's really the last thing on my mind that I would dwell on. The part that I love the most is that he really wants to prove something and show that he's the best writer in the room, but he has nothing to prove it with. He's like, whip out these fucking fan fictions that I wrote. Just this hyper-sexualized trash featuring his coworkers, and he shows it to the coworkers that it is quite clearly about. I mean, the name changes had to be super bad if Sahara didn't catch on to Savannah, those two names being closely related. What did he call her instead? Gobi? Blahara? Mary? Yeah, that's Barry. Should have just gender swapped it, then nobody would be the wiser. Ah, what a place to work. This is why I don't bother with social relationships anymore. I just always end up disappointed. But I'm glad you still got a good relationship with your coworkers and such, that you didn't let one person ruin it, but man, he is quite a specimen indeed. So yeah, please write more. I'd be glad to narrate it. I definitely appreciate you coming on through, telling your tale, and it was quite a beefy one at that. I hope that you guys will like, comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy the episode. Maybe share it around. It's always good to let people know that these neckbeards, they out there. I hope you also check out the links in the description. My Amazon affiliate link is down there. We got the Teespring shop, my wife's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, my personal subreddit, r/ReddXReads, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, all that stuff. Oh, and how could I almost fake forget about my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons? You're seeing some names on the screen right now, and I would like to thank them all. But especially ZeroMMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Rebecca H, Cider Drinker, Tato Fair, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Candy Sora, DigiNZ, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Lone Island, Shara, Marvin DeMoth, Miss Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, TSM Kirby, Redwind, and Synaptic Boomstick. I definitely appreciate you guys supporting. I know there was some naughty language in this episode, like bunched quite close together, so I guess we'll just have to see if it gets demonetized. But if it does, I got them patrons to lean back on, so no harm, no foul at the end of the day. I definitely appreciate it. Obviously, if anybody else can support, that is absolutely massive, and I thank you in advance. But if you can't right now, friends, don't sweat it too hard. I mean, I mostly just appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow, because really the views is how my beard is buttered. In order to make it back, you're gonna need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands all the time, always. But don't, panic or anything. It is still your life, and you should live it how you wanna. So take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe something like watching some more ReddX videos. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one, friends. And until then, bye-bye.